I am here in the Station Church at Royal Air Force Valley on Anglesey, North Wales, which, like many sacred and special places, is a local repository for all things relating to remembrance. It contains many things that help us to remember life, past and present. In this church, we have stained glass windows dedicated to many squadrons based here at RAF Valley, to the operations they have conducted, and most importantly, to the people who are behind those stories that we celebrate and commemorate in this space. Like this church, we ourselves are custodians of these stories, and although we may not be of the same time or generation, we are still connected to them and these people in a special and significant way. As a consequence, we spend these moments in silence, in thankful, solemn remembrance, on parade, wearing a poppy, or simply just being in this sacred and special space. My earliest memories of remembrance were at school, when we were told to stand perfectly still during the 2-minute silence on Armistice Day. Some students were so scared of moving that they fainted. This rather strange remembrance seemed far removed from what armistice and remembrance should really be about. But a short time after that, I remember visiting an island off the west coast of Scotland, and while walking around its port, I found the war memorial dedicated to the servicemen and women who died in the Great War. The list of the names of the dead from this small town in rural Scotland was immense. I remember thinking, at the time, were there any men between the ages of 18 to 35 left in this place after 1918? The war absolutely devastated this community, as it did so for many others around the world. This picture is reflected across the battlefields and war cemeteries of Northern Europe. Tyne-Cot, Etaples, Lissenhoek, and the Menin Gate, to name a few. However, my most significant memories of remembrance are of serving with our armed forces on operations in the Middle East in 2017, standing alongside them in the desert as we marked the sacrifice of the many, especially of the fallen in conflicts around that region. The following year, I had the privilege of sharing with my local squadron of air cadets in Buckinghamshire as they recorded the graves of military personnel in the county who died in service, and they laid small wooden crosses by their headstone. The peace of that place in the middle of autumn and the hushed conversation of young people as they connected with the lives of so many in that place was such a contrast to the context in which these men and women gave their lives for our security, freedom and peace. Generations young and old alike, sharing in simple yet profound acts of remembrance, seems to me to be a reflection of the hope that we are longing for and working for in this world.